Hi, guys. Hi, Cam J. Hi, Rashida. Hi, Mary. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Diane. So we're missing Nor, we're missing Constant and Raspberry. How is everyone today? Hi, guys. I'm I'm stop dyeing my hair. I'm thinking of just growing it out, letting my hair go gray. I'm gonna do a video on it on my personal channel, but I'm just tired of dying. dying. So I'm gonna go gray. Because I don't have to be in front of the camera anymore, right? So I'll be behind the scenes. Guys, I want to thank you so much. I put a message on Patreon for you. You inspired me to talk yesterday. Sometimes you need someone to bounce ideas off. And as I said, I appreciate you guys so much. You're so intelligent. You're so emotionally intelligent. You're so, you know, I just you're such great thinkers. I just appreciate so much your feedback. And in talking to you yesterday, um, last night, I you you shaved your head, Rashida. Well, I actually cut my mother's hair, and I gave her a really low cut. You could actually say it's shaved, but it's very low, and she looks so elegant. She looks so awesome. So I can't shave my head. I can't go too low. I did before, and but the shape of my head is like a little coconut. So it just didn't look good. My mom has a perfect shape head, so it looked beautiful. So I'm sure you look beautiful too, Rashida. You just have to have a nice dome to carry it off. I don't. I cut my hair off before and it was a joke. So I need the length to try and hide the weird shape of my head. So anyway, I was just like, you guys, remember we're talking about casting and everything? Well, guess what I saw to actually I was watching a video, and the place where I want to film, where why I left Hollywood and now I'm here, and I transitionally, because I went to a place, and the locations were so beautiful that that's where I want to film my movies. So I saw a video today with even more locations that I didn't even know about, and they were fantastic. So I was like, okay, I'm just so glad the path that God has put me on. So because it's getting better, it's opening up my world. But then I was thinking about the cat. Oh, guys, I'm changing the location. The horror movie is set in San Diego, California. And San Diego is beautiful, but would you know that I had not visited San Diego when I wrote the book. I've never been to, when I was writing the book, I had not been to San Diego ever in my life. But the characters, everything spoke to me and said, San Diego. And I set the story in San Diego. And I eventually got to go to San Diego. I was filming a Netflix movie, and I was in front of the camera, unfortunately, while I was breaking out. So it was really horrific for me. I didn't want to be on camera, and that's when they put me on camera, close up, everything. So, and I wasn't standing in. I was acting, and I I filmed in San Diego for 2 days, and I got to see San Diego, and it fit exactly the setting that I wrote, which, so, I can't be a writer for hire because my characters take over. And I just, like, if you hire me to write a comedy, I may start writing, and by the time it's ended, it's a horror. So, hi, Constant. We were waiting for you, and we're waiting for Noor. And who else is missing? Raspberry's missing. So, guys, I'll get it more into it when we set up a book or book club meeting. So sometime this week. But anyway, when I saw the locations, guess what, guys? Not only do I need you to tell me if the present tense that I wrote the book in, if it's you prefer it in the present tense or the past tense, but I'm changing the location. I'm changing the setting of the story. So that's something else that I have to do for the book. So, I mean, I'm super excited. And the other thing you get helped me with when we were discussing casting for the romantic film, I decided I'm going to go with complete unknowns because, I'm not making it for Hollywood. I'm making it for my audience. And I think it's a good story. And if I produce it well, which I plan to make it so beautiful. I plan to make it cinematic. I plan to make it, um, it's a movie that incorporates a lot of music too. So, and I just, I love it. I love it. And I think my audience will love it. So, the story. Of course, I'm gonna cast really good actors, but I'm gonna go for unknowns. And I explained more on Patreon. And when we meet for the book club, we'll talk some more about it. And I saw a tweet on Twitter today after I made that decision, and it was about Twilight. I started to watch Twilight years ago, but couldn't get through it. I thought it was so bad. I couldn't get through it. But interestingly enough, I read this tweet because the tweet was about the making of Twilight. And they said that when it was an indie production, it was low budget, the first one, and they cast Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart, mostly completely unknown. And they did that purposefully because they didn't have the budget and to get stars. And it became a hit because, there were fans for the book. My film, an adaptation of a book, and I wrote it as a film, but now I'm going to put it in a novel form, the adaptation in a novel form, and film it also. So it has a fan base already. So hopefully there will be a fan base for my adaptation, and the film hopefully will piggyback off that. So I'm going to go with complete unknowns. And on top of that, the tweets then went to say if they were to make Twilight today, they would make it the original. They would make it with a huge budget, which like $100 million. If Hollywood was they make it $100 million. They would put A-list box office uh, drawing cast, and it would not be as effective, that it would not do as well as the indie um, production with the unknown stars. So it just is like it was a confirmation that I was headed in the right direction when I said, you know what, I'm going to go with unknown because, if I had, and we'll discuss more when we do the book club because I'm going to share a lot with you. I'm going to share that I have something that Taraji P. Henson said, which I agree with and disagree with, and why I disagree with her, and how too many of stars today are too reliant on Hollywood, and they could do what like what I'm doing, and some have done, and make an industry and build an audience, but they're still knocking on the door of Hollywood, and all Hollywood does is gatekeep. So, and they have a chance. Stars like Tahara have, because they already have the status. They can partner with writers and upcoming directors and upcoming producers whose stories resonate with them, whose scripts resonate with them, and attach themselves to projects. And if they attach themselves to projects because they are a known entity, they may get funding. And but they're not willing. They just want Hollywood. They want that validation from Hollywood. And so, but Hollywood doesn't want them. Hollywood wants to continue their propaganda, their stories, their agenda, and promote their people. Whether they're like, well, that they keep giving movies to stars that flop over and over, but they won't give it to, this, because they don't want to promote people like you and me. And you know that's not, they're not in it for that. It's not called white supremacy for it's called white supremacy for a reason. That's the propaganda. They have to push that, and they're not going to show us in a good light. And they will only green light things that will help their agenda, their propaganda. So these constantly begging these people to give them and celebrate them and see them in the proper light, it's not going to happen. We have to make stories where we are get to center ourselves in a story, or tell stories where we are portrayed as human beings, good, bad, in between, with failures, with successes, with, just human beings. They don't want to portray us as that. They don't want us to be empathized with. So why don't, you know, those with money that can fund projects buy us, and stars who had the privilege and the opportunities to that have had gotten those opportunities, but they're not the opportunities that they want, because they want more. Like what Tahari was saying, she's like, I don't have a franchise. I've been in the game for 30 years, and I can't, nobody's casting me for a franchise. I'm like, no, because they don't want you to be successful. They don't want you to get all the monies like Robert Downey Jr. and Margot Robbie. Margot Robbie's movies were all flopping, but she got movies after movies. But they want to see her promoted. They want to see, her get all the monies. What's his name? What's the guy that does please plays Negan? Um, I'm just going blank. The Walking Dead just kept going down and down and down, but they didn't care. They liked that, because they identify with him. The producers, the execs, don't care that JD Morgan, they did not care that his character was failing, that the show was failing, because they kept pushing this character, and the audience were rejecting this. They didn't care because the execs and the producers identify with him. They like him and they want him to succeed because they see it as a reflection of themselves. So they don't mind that he fails and they're giving him all this money. They would never do that for Taraji P. You know, or the guy that plays Tyrese or whatever, they will never do that because they don't want someone like her to succeed. They want someone like them to succeed, right? They love Negan because it's the values that they love. It's misogynistic. That's what they identify with. So people don't understand. So keep begging them and wanting them and upset that they're not, yeah, be upset, but that's the way it is. Is it fair? No, because they have all the monies. They are the ones in charge. But we can, like, if I approach Taraji, this is how Hollywood works. And I'm telling you, I've spoken with Denai, I've spoken with Lupita, I've spoken with a lot of producers, I've spoken with studios, and I've spoken with entertainment lawyers. I've had producers interested in my horror film. So I had a lot of meetings. I had people saying, we're ready to go, fund, we're ready to go in, whatever. But let me tell you something. There's like, okay, we need this. We need this star attached to get your funding, whatever. I can go to a Taraji P. Henson. I'm not saying, I'm just using her as an example. I could go to a Taraji and say, Taraji, yes, I know I'm not a named or a known director. I'm not a known writer, but I have a terrific script. It's an A+ script. All the readers, the studios read it, loves it. This producer, blah, blah, loved it. They're not willing to fork out blank, blank million for this project unless I can get a star attached, a named star attached. Would you attach yourself to this? Okay, how much are you going to pay me? Or, how, whatever. So what I was like, well, to keep the budget low, I can only pay you this, but I would give you on the back end, like, points. Like if the movie does this, you get certain amount. So you're rewarded for the success of the movie, stuff like that. But these actors, these stars, these directors, these producers, whatever, they will not attach themselves to known agents, whatever. They will not attach themselves to unknown talent, even if they like the story, because they're waiting for the Marvel, they're waiting for the Kevin Feige, they're waiting for the Christopher Nolans, they're waiting for, because Hollywood, it's not, they don't see it as they don't see, oh, I'm not going to get an Oscar if it's not with this star, with this director. I'm not going to get, whatever. But if Christopher Nolan or any of those directors come to them and say, I have a low budget, the studio is not giving me any money for it, but let's do this, because they would jump at it. He doesn't offer them any back end. They'll jump at it because the validation that comes with it. So I don't understand these black stars not wanting to create on their end, their own, and stop looking to Hollywood for validation, because they're never gonna get it. And the only way Hollywood will make or green light or push them is if they're pushing the agenda that Hollywood wants, and the agenda is usually not in our interest. It's not to show us in a good light, or a light where we're three-dimensional people and characters. So so I'm not interested in Hollywood. I'm not interested because I know their agenda. I know and I don't want to partner with that. And why I consider Ryan Coogler the bravest filmmaker I've ever encountered or known of, it's because he doesn't seek their validation. And he tells the truth in his filmmaking. The majority of movies and shows produced by Black talent in Hollywood is compromised. It's not, it's something that fits into the stereotype or the agenda that Hollywood is trying to put into the world about Black people. And or Black people are not centered. If they're centered, it's compromised. With Ryan Coogler, um, he tells it. I don't know how. That's why I was like, he's the bravest. And I think I mentioned with you guys, I think it's because he disarms them. And he disarms them not by being manipulative. He disarms them because they underestimate him. They always underestimate him. They go into it thinking because of how he speaks and how he carries himself, he's very humble. He's one of the most humble human beings I've ever met. And the way he carries himself and the way he approaches, I could be sitting and talking with him, and Kevin Feige comes into the room and he doesn't change. He's who you get. So they look at him like a country bumpkin because he's just so relaxed. He's so humble. They're like, yeah, let's let him do what he's doing. Who cares? Yeah, he'll get us some money, but did you did you see the message in his movie? Did you get the underline? Do you see what he's trying to tell people? We can't let him put that out. Nobody cares. Just take the money. People will watch it. It'll go over their head. And Ryan is, yeah, he's just as But if like a Denzel Washington walks in the room, they're on their guard. They're like, yeah, he's gonna want to do this and that. Make sure he can't get that or he has to do that. They don't do that with Ryan because they're not. They underestimate him, and he just tells the truth, and he smiles, and he's humble, and but the truth he's telling in his filmmaking is so sharp, it's so pointed, it's so honest, it's so bare. That's why you see the pushback from Variety and Deadline and the Hollywood Reporter, who is owned by Penske Media now, who is a far right um, billionaire. That's why you see the pushback against sinners. That's why you see the pushback against people like the lies about Meghan Markle from the Variety, lying on her about Netflix and lying on the Netflix CEO, saying what he said about Meghan, and lying about Meghan and lying about Netflix and uh, they're like, that's not true. What are you talking about? They're doing that because they know the lie will reach further before the truth will. So even if they have to do a redaction, they don't care. The lie's already out there. So that's why you're seeing this far right push and agenda, right? That's why you see it against. They're like, well, how could they do this for Ryan Coogler? Why did they give him rights? Why are they going to give him back rights? Why did he get first gross profit on his movie? That's only done for Christopher Nolan. That's only done for Tarantino. How could they? We have to stop this. But everybody's trying to make it, and everybody's self-interested. No, you're finally here. Yay. Someone, they're self-interested, so they're looking out for themselves. And you can't get ahead looking out for yourself. No man is an island. You cannot get ahead looking for yourself. So these stars that are begging Hollywood to make them a star or to treat them like they treat others, it's and look down on their own and say, well, they don't have the cachet, they don't have the power, they don't have the money. You'll forever be eating scraps. So, guys, I'm going with unknown. I'm like, I don't know why I was still in that mindset that I needed star power to star in the other movie. I don't know why I still had that mindset. So I'm so happy that you guys helped me come to that place. Oh, thank you, Nor. Oh, thank you. So I'm just so happy that you guys helped me to come to that place, and it's because you're such beautiful people. You're such great, so intelligent, such great, emotionally intelligent, and just intellectually intelligent. But on the most important thing, you're kind human beings. You're kind human beings, and I appreciate it. I appreciate your kindness and your support. I'm really appreciated. So let's get, what did I miss here? Let's get into the, oh yeah, they love Negan and Daryl, Rashida. No, I was just yapping. You didn't miss anything. We're gonna start now. Cher said they're blinded by the system at hand. You have the answer. Start your own. I believe there are others that feel like, yeah. And we just have to find each other. We just have to find community and support each other. And that's what it is. And the audience is there. There are people that will watch our stuff. Yeah, we want, they want to make the movie, the monies that Marvel is making, but Marvel started somewhere. They started down here. They weren't making that money there. They built on that. And we can build. We can start down here and build. So Constance said, I mean, people have like Spike Lee and a few others. Some people thought that's what Tyler Perry will do for some reason. I don't know why they would, but they hoped he would break from his partnership with wives. But of course he didn't. Also, he's a narcissist, so he can equally partner with other. But yeah, it's just they're, well, Spike Lee does compromise, because he wouldn't get the funding if he didn't, so he compromised in some ways on things that I was talking about yesterday. But I'm not going to get, we can talk about that when we're getting into the books and all of that stuff. We're going to do lives where we talk about the books and Hollywood and the systems and all of that stuff. But I don't want to take away from what Nora is here for and what most of you are here for tonight. We're going to finish up 710, and we'll leave the other discussion for later. I'm going to go on my personal channel tomorrow. I'm sorry, hair is in my mouth. I don't know where. I don't know. I'm going on my personal channel tomorrow. I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to stop dyeing my hair. I'm going to start, because I don't like dye, and I'm going to talk about perimenopause, how my face broke out and what I did, and the other things I'm dealing with, all of that good stuff, personal stuff, and other good things in my book, and all of that stuff. So if you want, you can check out my personal channel. I don't even know what the name is. I don't even know what the name of my personal channel is. If you want to check that out tomorrow, I'll be doing a live. I don't have really any much followers there. They're just people that sometimes just, the thing that they watch on my personal channel, because I love art, I'm creative. So when I see something, like I see an interesting looking car, I'm not a car enthusiast, but I'm an artist. So when I see a strange or a unique looking car, I record it, and those get a lot of views. The rest of the stuff, I talk about God, I talk about anything. Nobody watches those. uh, but I'm going to talk about age and the changes that come with life, and what I'm gonna try to go gray. Because I'm no longer going to be in front of the camera. I'm going to be behind the camera from now on. So it doesn't matter if my hair is dark or gray. I'm not trying to look younger, because Hollywood, boy, they're biased. It's not just they're biased against age, they're biased against women, they're biased against you just guys, it's a tough town. And I had to keep dyeing my hair, but no more in front of the camera except for you guys. And I know you guys won't mind. So we're on. I don't know. I'll find it and put the link in, Nor, because I don't even know what it is, because I hardly use it. um, I'll put it in before we end this chat. The scene we left off on, I think I have to rewind a bit because I was yapping while it was playing. They're at the junkyard. Let's see. Okay, so Daryl and Richard faced off, and Daryl was upset and he's leaving. And you know what I just noticed, guys? Raspberry, you made it. We were waiting for you. We're waiting for you and Nor. So happy you could make it. So I just noticed something, guys. Daryl confrontation with Richard was in front of a trailer, and on the trailer is a gunslinger on a horse, probably robbing a stagecoach. You know what that reminded me of? Not the what's going on in the artwork, but that it reminded me of The Ones Who Live, with the painting of the three horses behind Rick and Michonne when they were sitting by the fire. They made a little fire to make some noodle. Yes, episode 5 of The Ones Who Live. So they were sitting there and just enjoying each other, enjoying the view in Wyoming. And because the sign was Wyoming, and the three horses eating their tasteful noodles, right, Raspberry? And the horses behind them. So it was like the Midwest. And here we have the Wild Wild West. So it reminded me of that. Except when I saw the three horses, it was two horses. There was a black horse, a brown horse, and a little coal in between them. So I was like, is that a foreshadowing that Rick and Michonne are going to have a little coal? We know they have RJ, but once they reunited, once they physically reunited, once they they made love, they didn't stop. And so I'm thinking, that they got Rick got Michonne pregnant, because I don't think Rick could control himself to do the, what do you call that method of love making, birth control, the pull out method. I don't think Rick had the control to do that after not being with Michonne forever. So I think, and they made love so many times, and they wouldn't have any contraceptives. So I think Michonne is pregnant, and that sign was just, that painting was not just to show their location. So in filmmaking, everything is deliberate. Everything I told you in production design and set dressing, there is nothing coincidental in the shot. So the painting behind Rick and Michonne was to tell people, it's to signal that their location, you always do a location shot, then you pull in to see, or whatever, you want to keep the wide to show that you're where, for the scene, what the scene was about, but you always start a scene orienting your audience to, now where are they? Where are my characters? So the painting was to say they're in Wyoming, right? Because the last we saw them before that, they left, the building had collapsed and they were driving away. So now where did they reach? Are they in Alexandria? Are they close? Where are they? They're in Wyoming. And you had the horses, which gives you a, like this with the horse and the stagecoach, give you a feel for the Midwest. But in this case with Daryl and Richard, it wasn't about the Midwest, it was about a confrontation. And they were discussing the confrontation with Negan, Richard wanting them to get, Richard wanting to confront Negan, then Richard trying to use Carol to get um, Daryl in on his plan to get Negan, and then the confrontation between Richard and Daryl. So it was setting the mood. But the Wyoming Midwest horses, you think of horses with Midwest and mountain range, but it also told a story of what's going on. Remember, like in Alexandria, you had in Rick and Michonne's house, even when they just got there, and you know Rick met Jesse, and everybody thought, ooh, that's gonna be a romance or whatever. Guess what was in that house? The Ferris wheel, which we're going to in come upon in 712, the honeymoon episode, right? So that wasn't by accident, because they had already plotted out the season. They may not have written the episode yet. They may not have written 610 yet, where Rick and Michonne got together, but they had broken down the season already. They knew, like, this is what they do. This is what the showrunner does. The showrunner says, these are the things we're going to accomplish in season 6. We're going to have No Way Out, that shocking thing in the we're going to have that shocking thing in the comics happen, where Carl loses his eye and the Anderson family's wiped out. We're going to introduce Jesus. We're going to have Rick and Michonne. This is the showrunner telling the writing room. This is how it goes. We're going to have Rick and Michonne become a couple, but I need it to be a shock. I need it to be a shock to Rick and Michonne, and I need it to be a shock to the audience. So I don't want the audience I want them to be, we're going to subvert their expectation. Let it be a to everyone. So that's what we're going to happen. And I need, we're going to introduce Hilltop. We're going to introduce, no, when were we introduced to Hilltop? No, what else happened in season 6? Thank you, Rashida, the rhythm method. We're gonna have, so what? There's the big points, the big arcs are going to happen in this season. Now, the assignment is that you are the writer's room. Sherry's gonna write episode 1. No, or I'm gonna write episode. Sometimes the showrunner says I'm gonna start it off, but if not, Sherry's gonna write episode one. Nora's gonna write episode two. Kamj's gonna write episode three. Raspberry's gonna write episode four. Um, uh, Diane is gonna write episode five. Sherry, did I give you an episode yet? Sherry's gonna write episode six. Constant is gonna write episode seven, and so forth and so forth. So that's how it goes. And and we're going to lead up to it. So then each person that got their episode, they're like, well, this is what I'm going to do in my episode. So they're just like, okay, we'll do this in that episode, or we'll do that. And then, so they map it. So it's not by accident. The Ferris wheel, because they knew that they were going to eventually get to, they wanted to do, what's that horror film? I think it's a zombie film, a zombie horror film that was at a circus, that was at a fair. They knew they wanted to do that. So they put that Ferris wheel in. And so the set designer. But anyway, again, I got off on a tangent. So we're there. That's the end. We're now going back to the junkyard. So ready, guys? Zombieland. Yes, Sherry, Zombieland. Okay. All right. No, we're going to start where Richard and Daryl leave each other. So we're going to start at the junkyard now. So let's go. So just a call to, oh, there's Michonne's cat. That's where we're starting. So this is the introduction of the junkyard. So they did the setting. They showed the wide shot of the setting. Ooh, let me turn it down because that music is gonna get me copyrighted. And there's Rick and Michonne. Rick is casing them out. You see, Rick is looking at them. He's looking them to see if he's assessing them. He's like, oh yeah, they look like fighters. He's just like, okay, that one, yeah, mm-hmm. These are able-bodied fighters. Oh gosh, Rashida. Oh. They're having them swarm around like ants, swarm formation. Rick looks at Michonne. That's where we stopped last night. Nor. I saw it, Rashid. I just saw his dreads. Oh, I forgot they have Gabriel. Two. I see two. Rashida. Look at Gabriel. He's so happy to see them. It's just like no. Away from Tamiel now. That was funny. What's the actress name that plays Jadis? Right, it's only 2 years. That was stupid, but I'm telling you, she's a good actress. She's ridiculous. Pollyanna McIntosh. Yeah, she's a good actress. And Andrew Lincoln enjoyed working with her so much because she's very good. Rick is like, what? Rick up. That was so stupid. I missed that. I was looking at the name of my channel. Hold on. Let me see. Pause. Let me see. Michonne, hold on to him. Hold on. Up. Okay. So he's walking to Rick. Michonne grabs him. Oh. He said it's okay. Rick looks very hot in this episode, I have to say. Look at that walk. Michonne is so mad and frustrated. She's like, oh my God, this is so weird. And what are they doing with my man? What's his name is already always getting beaten up. Aaron. Ah, she said the episode. Rosita, new best friends. Where are they taking him? That was that was so weird. There's Rick. Okay, that scene was so bad. The green screen. You could see Rick is on a green screen. He keeps talking to Michonne with his eyes. You notice that? He keeps reassuring her, but he keeps, keeping his eyes on her. That was so weird. Look at how they're dressed with boots. She must be so hot. She just threw Rick. Oh my gosh. Michelle's like, what did you do? Turn around, Rick. Yes, he does, Sherry. He's so good. He's always searching for Michonne. Ooh, you know, I paused it. I paused it. Pause it, guys, so you don't get ahead of me. They always doing that, Krista. It's the indication that Rick lost his hand in the comics. So, but they keep doing that, having him getting injured to pay homage to that. But in this scene, that with the stake through his hand, that was a, what do you call it? A Christophany. It's like, Christ was crucified. The nail went through his hand. So they sort of use that in certain films and movie where they make a figure of, go through some of the torture that, the physical torture, because they could never go what Christ went through, but the physical torture that Christ did. So yeah, that was. Oh, so Raspberry said the first time was when he broke it fighting Tyrese after they found Karen's burnt body. Yeah, they kept trying to refer to that his hand keeps getting injured. And remember when he was fighting the wolves, and he just keeps injuring that hand. But so that's another thing. But that, I did see a mistake there. Did you guys notice when he hit, the walker with the, what's the walker's name again? Jadis named him when he hit the walker with the keyboard. Yeah, it was his left hand. They didn't, usually he gets his right hand injured, but they had to switch it to the left because he would need use of his right hand more. So they didn't want to handicap the um, the actor too much. They didn't want him to lose any, but if they did, it would give him more freedom and range of motion. Winslow, thank you, Raspberry. So, oh, he kept, he kept hurting his right hand, but the only reason they didn't let him lose his right and let him lose his left instead is for practicality purposes. So, he couldn't lift up Michaud. Well, he could with his left hand, but there's a lot of stuff he needed to do. Like they wouldn't have, I don't know, let him be a pilot with the right, with the left. But some people are extra, what do you call it? Dexterous. What do you call it when you can do both? Ambidextrous or whatever. I ambidextrous. Okay, thank you, Raspberry. So it's ambidextrous. Can use both, or some people are left-handed. But anyway, they did it for practicality purposes of filming. But I just wanted to talk about that. Yeah, when he hit Winslow with the keyboard, Winslow backed away. Walkers don't feel any pain, so the walker should have kept coming unless the blow was enough to 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 um to cause him inertia. But they acted like, it's an ouch. No, 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 no. You need, and that's what the what you call it, the script supervisor should have noticed. It's like, oh, the walker shouldn't be, you know, hurting. He shouldn't flinch away from the hit. So, anyway, let's get back to it. Come on, Rick. Michonne is so smart. I was gonna say Michonne is so smart. Can you imagine how infected his hand is? Oh, for that spike. He needs a rabies shot. She can't negotiate. I paused at we take. Oh, thank you, Nor. I'm so grateful and so thankful. Thank you. So, did she say they'll take half half of the supply that Rick and Aaron got off the boat? I didn't hear that. I was looking up for my I was looking for my channel's name. He's drenched. He's always drenched in sweat. Oh my gosh. Michonne. Oh, thank you, Cam J. Thank you. Thank you, Rashida. Half of the food, half of the stuff, the food they stole from the. Okay, so it's half. She's such a terrible negotiator. And you can see Andrew Lincoln having so much fun in this scene. He loves working with Pollyanna. And uh, uh, Scott Gimple was obsessed with her. He was obsessed with her, and he loved the dynamic between her and Rick because they do play well off each other. She's British, so I guess they have that in common, and she's such a good actress. Andy loved it, and Scott was like a big, big Jadis fan, big Pollyanna fan. So, but I love to see Andy having fun because he did not look like he was having fun, and he said it. He confessed he hated the um, the Alexandria. He didn't specify the Jesse storyline, but we know he didn't enjoy that. He said he hated that. Once they got into Alexandria. So I'm just. Oh, thank you, Sherry. So you guys, tomorrow I'm gonna go live um sometime in the afternoon. So if you're relaxing and just want to sit back and chat with me, I don't have anything on the agenda. I'm just going to be talking about hair, skin, uh and and all of that stuff, getting older and changing, transitioning or changing career focus, or working on what you want to work on. If you have a dream or something that you have an idea, let's motivate each other, because sometimes that desire is put there by God, guys. And it just, I'm going to encourage you, and I want you there to be encouraged. And so um I'll say probably about like two. I'm gonna come home and eat, go to church, come home, eat. I don't know if I'm gonna take a nap, but yeah, about 2, 3 o'clock. It's gonna be too hot. Look, I can't go out in the sun. I've become allergic to the sun. Because I said I could go for a walk and take you guys with me, but yikes, I don't know if I can pull that off. Thank you, Raspberry. So yeah, I just yeah, about 2, 3 o'clock. And yeah, if you just want to hang and talk and be encouraged, I'll just come and join me. It's not, okay, okay. 3:30, Rashida. Okay. So for Rashida, I'll start at no, no, Eastern Nor. What time would it be for you? If I started around, Rashida won't be around until 3:30, so I'll start around 3:30 for Rashida. What time would that be for you, Nor? It's Eastern. I'm Eastern now, no longer Pacific. I want to see if it's a good time for you, Nor. I guess because you guys might be my only audience. Because oh, now? What do you mean now? Oh, you'll check. Yeah, check now. You guys, because I don't have really an audience on my channel. I barely post, so there's nobody there watching me or waiting around for me. She's in Greece, Cam J. Am I right? Oh, Egypt, Egypt. Why do I keep saying Nora's in Greece and Nora's in Egypt? 9 a.m. in Egypt. Okay. It's a good time. Okay, so let's make it because I want you to have a good rest. So let's make it is 4 p.m. Eastern too late for you guys? Because that would be a good time. 4 p.m. Eastern, that would be 10 a.m. for Nor. That's more afternoon, so Nor can sleep in and Rashida can finish watching service for 4 p.m. Raspberry's Mountain Time Zone, so 2 hours behind. Western Canada, Canada in the house. 2 p.m. Okay, wonderful. So 10 a.m. is good. So 4 p.m. Eastern. Yes. Let me write it down so I don't forget. 4 p.m. Eastern. Okay. Good. Okay. Let's get back. Woo. We take, we don't bother. Rick finds her so strange. What was she going to do with Gabriel? She was going to traffic him. She's a human trafficker. That girl, she's ooh, ooh, ooh. She's so funny. Oh, he's Oh. Look at Michelle smiling. Yeah, Andy enjoyed. He didn't. Andy did not enjoy the Jesse storyline, and he did not enjoy the Negan storyline. So this was a. I think he enjoyed this. He loved working against with Pollyanna, and he just wanted that bad taste for that other storyline. I hate this. I hate seeing Ezekiel beg and Carol be so dismissive of him. I don't like it. See, that's why I want you to get some sleep, Nor. She's so weird. Annie's so weird. Raspberry. Bad. The acting was bad. It was so bland. Yeah, not interested in this because I just it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Bored raspberry. Bored. Bored, 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 bored. And possibly worried that what he wanted wasn't going to happen because Scott didn't tell him. He told Denai, but he didn't tell Andy. And Andy's a method actor, so I guess he didn't, he Scott didn't tell him what was coming so that he could stay in his whatever mode. He could stay in his Rick mode, dealing with what's in front of him, you know, for his because a method acting, you don't want to know that. He put stuff in his acting because of what he wanted. He was trying to encourage it, so he put stuff with his scenes with Michonne to encourage it. Gabriel is talking to Rick, so that's why I paused. I paused it where Gabriel said thank you to Rick. Gabriel has come to a point where he respects Rick so much and holds him in high esteem, and that I appreciate that about that Gabriel got to that point. Um, but what makes me still not get on board and be fully um, a Gabriel fan and still did not like him is because the respect and the the respect he gave to Rick, it didn't translate to Michonne. I just, he didn't have to be friends with Michonne, but I didn't get in the interactions with Michonne after Rick left, I didn't get the impression that Gabriel respected Michonne. There was just something there that I just didn't appreciate about how Gabriel came off. I felt and I saw Rosita's respect for Michonne. I saw and felt Aaron's respect for Michonne. But Gabriel and Tara, well, Tara definitely, and I cannot stand Tara. Um, I was indifferent to her. I found her annoying, but I didn't dislike her. But I came to dislike her a lot because of her disrespect to Michonne. Michonne didn't do Tara anything, and Tara was so rude and disrespectful to her. And then Gabriel, there was just something that I never got on board with him. But I appreciate it was obvious he came to respect and admire Rick, um, because Rick gave him another chance, a chance that he didn't deserve, that Gabriel didn't deserve, but Rick gave it to him. But I didn't, the way they were in Alexandria, I didn't appreciate it. He acted like he was in charge, even though it was a council. He acted like he was in charge. It seemed like he didn't respect Michonne's authority. I don't know. It was just something there. Raspberry says Andy's such a great method actor. He wants his delivery and portrayal to be as natural and in the moment as possible. Yes, Raspberry, and I think that's why Scott Gimple didn't tell him, and he told Denai because he knows Denai likes research, and Denai likes to know, so to know how to approach things. And as you said, Raspberry, perfectly. Uh, Andy wants his reaction to be natural. So even though we saw how Rick was with Michonne, it wasn't because he knew that Rick would be Michonne. It's because he wanted Rick to be Michonne. And that's how he played. He played Rick as in love with Michonne. And so even though the writers didn't incorporate some things in the scenes, Andy portrayed it in the scene because the character he played is in love with Michonne. So that's why you saw Rick doing things that it wasn't scripted. Him checking her out, doing stuff like that. Those things were not scripted. That was Andy. So that's how Rick played. He played Rick attracted to and in love with Michonne. So that's why you saw that it wasn't the writers. But and when he got the Jesse storyline, he did not want that, and because he didn't know where the writers were going with it, and he didn't want to know, and he was not told because he's a method actor and he doesn't want to know ahead. He wants to approach each situation as you and I approach life. Things come when they come. That's how we react naturally to it. So Scott Gimple didn't tell Andy, and Andy didn't like it. He did not like the Jesse arc because he has been telling them, and he has been clear. He didn't hide it. He wanted Rick with Michonne. So he was not pleased about that storyline. Not, he didn't know where it was going. And he didn't know where it was going, and he didn't like it because the writing was pointing to Rick and Michonne. Rick professed his love to Michonne by saying, "We will go to Washington." Rick did talk about a profession of love, talk about doing something for somebody, something so huge for somebody because of love. So that was where the writing was going. And then they smacked him with this Jesse thing. And then he had to be acting all, weird and, seeing ghosts and Shane Laurie dynamic. He didn't like it. He didn't like it. And every interview, he said, "I want Rick and Michonne." During that arc, he kept saying it. So yeah, so he was not happy. He was not a happy camper. So and then he didn't like the Negan storyline because he had to debase himself. He had to debase Rick, and he didn't like that headspace that Rick had to be throughout that part of the Negan storyline. He didn't like it. And then it led to his great friend Glenn, Stephen, being written off the show. And he knew Stephen didn't want to leave, and he fought for Stephen. So that stretch was a tough stretch for Andy. He fought. He wrote the execs. He begged them, and they wouldn't budge. So that stretch was it wasn't just a tough stretch for the audience. It was a tough stretch for Andy. And plus, Andy at the time was wrestling with leaving. He wanted to leave, and he kept delaying it because when it was time to leave, he wanted to go back to be with his young kids, his kids that were growing, and he's missing out a lot on their lives. But it was hard to let go of Rick Grimes. It was very hard. But when he thought he was ready and it was time to go, it was, as he said, it was very hard to let go. But it was a rough stretch for him. It was a rough stretch. Cam J says, "I've loved Aaron since his first appearance." Raspberry said 100. Gabriel acted like he was more deserving of being a leader more than Michonne. Yeah, he acted like he was the leader of Alexandria. And then when they had him and Tara signed Michonne's hard work, the charter, I was done. I was just like, forget these, disgusting, hateful people. And oh my gosh, it solidified my dislike for Angela Kang's writing. She was so dismissive of Michonne. I could not stand it. Oh, Michonne's hard work, and she doesn't sign it? Are you kidding me? She wrote a constitution, and she's not worthy to sign the constitution that she wrote? Gabriel is to sign it as an, to indicate that he's the leader, and Tara, who stole her charter and was so disrespectful to her, gets to sign Michonne's charter. I hated the writers for that. Disgusts me. Again, what we were talking about yesterday, that Michonne, she doesn't deserve, she's just there to serve others. She doesn't deserve to be in the position she is. She's supposed to be the leader. It's her charter, yet she doesn't sign it. She's just there to uplift others and she's not to be uplifted. Get away from me with that garbage. Get away from me with that. Raspberry said, Rashida said Tara should have died in season 6 during the horde. Tara for me was boring and useless. She was annoying to me. She was irrelevant and annoying to me. But in season 9 and 10, I had no regard for her. She was so awful to Michonne. I had no use for her. She was too irrelevant a character to hate. But and hate is too much emotion, too much energy. She's not relevant enough to hate. But I had no use for her after, none. When people are like, oh, she was on the pike, I'm like, really? Who cares? I didn't care about that pike. I was like, see, Michonne told them that's why she was protecting her people, and they acted like Michonne was murdering them. And they were murdered. And nobody said, I told you so. Michonne should have said, I told you so. I was like, yeah, Michonne, yeah. Rashida said, Gabriel annoyed me. Sherry said, so Tara. Raspberry said, Michonne was the first of the group to be nice to Gabriel too. Remember the church step? The church, season 5, episode 7, before he escaped, Michonne asked him if he was okay and said she wanted to help him. Yes, and even sitting on the church step, she spoke with him. She was very nice to him, and she saved him. She and Carl saved his life when he, brought the horde back. The walkers from the school that escaped, he brought them back to the church where the baby was. He's a narcissist. He just thinks about himself. And Michonne, who had the baby and Carl to protect, sacrificed herself and them to save him. They opened up the church to save him, something that he wouldn't do for them. I'm just, Raspberry said, I bet Andy felt the whole Jesse arc was character regression. Yeah. And Andy's smart, and Andy saw what they were trying to do in trying to muddy the waters to try to make the viewers think he's no better than Shane. Yeah, so whatever. Diane says, I think Michonne showed respect for Gabriel when she had him sign the charter as he was head of the council. He wasn't head of the council. That's the thing. It was a council. So in having him sign the charter, that's what they were implying. And I didn't like that. Michonne, Rick left Michonne in charge. Michonne should be the leader. She's security was Angela Kang trying to demote Michonne. Michonne should be the leader. Gabriel is not the leader, but that's why they had her have him sign the charter to sort of imply he's the leader of Alexandria. Please lead my foot. Sherry said, boy, oh boy, I know Andy didn't like the Negan storyline. It was a tough stretch. It was like, yeah. Audiences started dropping like fly, but the executives didn't care. What I was talking about earlier, they didn't care. They didn't care because they empathized. They saw themselves in the actor and the character, and they're like, well, I don't, certain people fail upward. And that propaganda is about you having privilege regardless because of. And so failure, it doesn't matter if you fail, you will be elevated just by by purpose of being a white male. And so they like that. So they will continue rewarding the failure because they like him. So it didn't matter. And it was a terrible, and it killed the show. It killed the show. The the inorganic, terrible writing killed the show, and their love and elevation of a character that the general audience, Negan has fans, but the general audience rejected. That's what happened. So they're like, too bad he's our guy, because we like him, and we're if we were in his position, we want to fail upward too. So there you go. Raspberry said, yep, Angela Kang literally had Michonne's intellectual property stolen and made Michonne be the help, not worthy of signing her own work. Exactly, Raspberry. I'm like, miss me with that woman. Um, Very disrespectful, Sherry. Rashida said season 9 and 10, Tara was a waste of space. Tara is always a waste of space. That character was so irrelevant and just took time away from stories and time or Rick and Michonne could have gone. It's just waste. Um Raspberry says, I bet Danai had some opinions on Angela Kang's writing. Danai is too, well, I can't speak for anyone, so I can't speak for. These are only my opinions. This is not what I can say what the actor said, like how uh, Andy said he did not like the Alexandria storyline, and he did not enjoy the Negan storyline. So I can say that because Andy said it. But as to and I can surmise from what they said how they feel. But again, that's just my deduction from what they said. I'm not speaking for anyone. This is just my opinion. um so I don't know what Denai thinks in regards of Angela Kang. I know Denai is a brilliant and smart woman, so I don't know. I can guess what she thought, but I cannot. Who knows? She may love Angela for all we know. We know she loved that stylist, that hairstyle. She doesn't use him personally though, but she brought him over to the ones who live, but denies like that. She likes to give opportunities to, but still, she has personal stylists that could have made her look flawless. And when I say flawless, she's in the apocalypse. So it would be, she would still look like she's going through it, but yet it would still complement. It wouldn't look fake. It would look like hers. So I don't know. That's what I think anyway. Diane said Tara didn't make it to season 10. Rashida says Angela Kang was not one of the writers for The Ones Who Live. Thank God that does explain it. Yes. Yep. That's why Michonne got fleshed out. And one of the reasons Michonne got fleshed out, Michonne had agency. Michonne was three-dimensional. Michonne was wonderful in The Ones Who Live because they didn't have writers that was biased against her. That's why. Raspberry says if Angela Kang wrote for The Ones Who Live, she would have killed off Michonne and brought Negan and Daryl to save Rick. There you go. Oh gosh. Rashida said fail upward. That sounds very, very familiar. Like, yes, Rashida. I'm not saying it because, but I agree. I don't want their disciples to start harassing me. So, so I don't want his disciples to start harassing me because it's a very cult like, and I am one of I'm the type of people they hate, so I don't want them coming after me. But I very much agree with you, Rashida. um, Raspberry said, "Whoever did Denai's hair for the one who lives press run was great." Yeah, she had her style. She has a few stylists that works with her, and one of them I met on set, on several sets. One of them that works, no, it wasn't her style, it wasn't her hairstylist. One of her makeup artists, one of her dear friends, I met, I've met and I've spoke with several times on several shows he has worked on. And I told him that, I love The Walking Dead and I know of him because I see him with Denai, and I knew he worked with her on other stuff, and we talked, and he told me some stuff. I can't tell you guys, but he told me some stuff. Not about, Denai, but other stuff that was going on set on some productions. And woo, I'm telling you, Hollywood is a small town. It's a very small town. You have to be very careful. You have to be the best way to be professional and be professional and go do your work and everything, because who you see on set here, and if you're rude to this person or a crew member, you think, oh, they're not high up. You go on another set, you see that same crew person, and it turns out they're the niece or the nephew of the showrunner or the producer, or or some studio exec. So it's you always run into the same crew. You know how many crews I'm on this show and I'm going and this movie. I'm like, hey, how are you? We were just on Fox Studio. Oh, we were just on Warner Brothers lot. Yay, yay, yay. So it's a small world. So he told me some very interesting things. So there was something going on in the press about an actor. I won't say if it's male or female. And everybody was talking about it, but he gave me the 411 of what actually happened. I was like, oh, but I can't say anything. Yeah. So yeah, it's sets. You can't make a movie by yourself. I mean, there are talented people who have done it, with their iPhone and stuff like that. You know, good. They're brilliant, whatever. But it's a lot of people. It's like an industrial site. You have electricians, you have carpenters, you have it's just like a they call it video village, where you have the director, the cinematographer, the script supervisor, the writers, the sometimes the studio execs comes down, or the producers, and they're in a little tent and they're watching the screen, and they call that video village. And then you have the set, you go on the set, and you have the carpenters working, if you're lighting crew working, and then you have the actors or the stand-ins, and in the background, and the PAs and the ADs, and it's just so many people working, and you're stepping over tons of wires and cords and lights, and you can get electrocuted if you're not careful. They have to have safety meetings. You have special effects supervisors, and it's just it's like you're in a there's not been any other industry or things that I've worked on where you have so many different parts going at the same time. And then you have and then you have the camera crew, and you have the boom people, the sound people, and then you have, all this going on, everybody is busy, and then you have rolling, and everybody gets quiet and freezes. And then you have sound speak. That's the sound going. The boom guy comes, and then you go action, and then the acting starts, and then everybody's quiet, the lights are going. That means don't come into the studio, or if you're on location, nobody. If the PAs block the street, block the sidewalk, the cops block the street, so people are trying to get to work, cars, traffic stops, everything stops. And then they do they act, they do their lines, and then you hear cut. The AD says it. Sometimes it's not the director. The director is like, all right, I like that take. And then the AD goes, cut. And then everything goes in motion. Everybody starts running around. It's really cool being on set. And if I do get to produce my movie, I hope you guys who have been with me from day one get to come and visit set to see what it's like. Raspberry said, I love to be an extra one day just to see how everything looks beside. It's when I'm on set, I get energized, whether it's in the studio, or whether we're on location. It's just a lot of, it's like an industrial site. It's a lot of people, it's a lot of moving parts, and it's very fun. It can get tense, and it depends on who is in charge. They can set the tone. If you have a great director, a relaxed director, if you have a relaxed lead like Andy, it can be so fun because they set the tone. Everybody is lighthearted or just having fun and want to do a good job. It's a great place to be. But then you have, yeah, I do, Cam J, because when I'm on set, I feel creative. It's the creative energy working with people who are also creative. And, and then especially if it's a fun scene, like we did, a lot of people didn't like the movie Joker 2. But it was fun doing it. Like I was standing in, I stood in for the psychiatrist that was dealing with Joaquin Phoenix, and I stood in for when Lady Gaga was performing, when they were getting married, and she had background singers. So I stood in for one of the background singers, and so we do rehearsals, and we were rehearsing and dancing, and I was like, I'm not supposed to sing, well, they're doing the lighting, so I'm dancing and singing and da 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 da, da. And the set is just brilliant because it's dark. They paint the whole, everything is black, and then they have this huge LED lit runway, and and they had Gotham like painted, looking like a cartoon. So you energize, it's fun, if you have a good director. If it's a director that is very rude, or a director that's stressed and they're running out of time, or the studio is on them about budget and the actors aren't happy, it can be tense. And if it's the crew is unhappy, it's not fun. But if the crew is happy and they're happy to be working and it's a cool project and everybody's having fun, it can be fun. And anytime I'm on set, and it's most of the time it's a good shoot. The director and the actors and the crew is not stressed. I just love it. I feel creative, and it makes me just want to um, produce my stuff more. You know who encouraged me to direct? I didn't think I could direct. The person that encouraged me to direct was the camera crew for The Office. Remember that show, The Office, when it was going? I spoke to the camera crew, and I was telling them I wrote a horror film, but I don't know if I could direct it. And they're like, yeah, definitely direct. And they taught me something. They said, listen to us. They said, some directors are technical. They're like us. They're like camera guys that know the framing and the cinematography and everything. So they're very technical. But then they said they're directors that know their characters and know how have the vision of what they want. And they said to me, you as the writer, you can do that. You have that vision. He said, then they told me this, the camera guys then said, we will be the technical guys for you. You tell us what we want and we'll help you frame it, we'll help you light it, and we will bring your vision to light. And they said to me, do not ever let anyone tell you you cannot direct. And from then on, I saw myself as a director because I had the vision. I know what I wanted. So, and the crew, the camera crew for The Office, gave me that gift. Yeah. So that is like, so I have a lot of stories can share with you guys. So when, as we progress, and guys, I'm really going to try to film. Yeah, it's a great piece of advice. I'm really going to try to produce my stuff. I have the horror, I have the romance drama, I have a mini series, two mini series that I want to do, and I have a comedy. I have so much, and I will, God willing, I hope to do them. And so I am. This is why I've moved from LA and I'm in transition. So I'm getting ready to do it. So yeah. So that was a great piece of advice. So since then, I saw myself as a director. And if you come to my chat tomorrow, I'm gonna share with you my first um my first project. It was a short film. I didn't know what I was doing. It's the first time I wrote a script. I wrote it in 5 minutes, and it was a joke. And I'll share with you how it came about. And I had two friends who were actresses, and I asked them to do it with me. And we ended up shooting it in 2 days. And now I'm thinking of making it into a film, to produce it into a film, and it's on YouTube, and I have not shared it with anyone. Um, when I say shared with, I just put it out on YouTube. It's not on my personal channel. So I'm gonna post it tonight on Patreon. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't even know how to write a script when I wrote it. And I didn't know what I was doing as a filmmaker. So the sound is bad, the green screen is bad. So please, no judgment. This was years ago. And I'll tell you the story behind it tomorrow in the how it came about. I'll tell you the story tomorrow in the chat, and I'll put it on Patreon tonight. And then after the chat, I'll put it on my personal channel. And it's my first attempt at filmmaking. But it's been on YouTube for years, but I just put it up on YouTube on its own channel. So it doesn't, and that's the only thing on it. So some people have watched it over the years, but sometimes I forgot about it. I just remember talking to you guys. So I'll put it on Patreon tonight, and tomorrow after the chat, I'll put it on my personal channel. So let's finish up The Walking Dead so we can get some sleep. Nor can get some sleep, and we can do our live tomorrow. Oh, thank you, Raspberry. Chase your dreams. That's what I'm going to encourage you guys tomorrow. Chase your dreams. Whatever it's, and it's never too late, no matter how young, no matter how old. Guys, I can't wait to talk to you tomorrow. We're going to do something. Cam J said, remember Blair Witch Project was filmed on pennies, less than 100,000. Yeah. And there's another franchise too that was filmed with credit cards for what? I think 11,000, and it became a $1 billion franchise. And yeah, I'll share with you about that. I can't remember what it is right now, but I hopefully by tomorrow remember what it is. Yes, Raspberry, put on your running shoes. So we're back to these people. He tells Rick, thank you. Let's go. Yeah, I'm so excited to talk to you guys tomorrow. Oh, thank you, Rashida.
What made you smile? What made you so confident? Someone showed me enemies can become friends.
C's always looking to Michonne.
We shouldn't be going back down.
You saw what Michonne was doing.
Rick is hurt. Aaron is hurt.
I'm more nervous about what Eric will say if he sees my face like this again.
People back home need food. Rick wants to bring the supplies back and we regroup. So that's what we're doing. Go on my own. We are sticking together, and that's it. What is your problem? We're not looking for a fight right now, Rosita. We're getting. I'm not letting anyone get in our way or slow us down. If we gotta stop people from taking.
I keep rewinding back. She said what she said got or we get to take from other people. I don't care. We win. What? I don't care. We win. I don't.
Are we gonna take from other people? I don't care. We win.
I don't understand. I thought I don't care. We win. That statement didn't make any sense to me. Yeah.
Guns.
Soon. Soon. Or else.
Once we get you stitched up, we'll go right back up. Do you have any idea where?
Here. You can't afford to be any of us. Details for nothing.
Could be. Go already.
Hold on.
The cat.
There's more.
See, he was watching her at the prison. You know, he knew. Michonne got her cat, right? She and Carl. She got the cat when she was with Carl, and she put it in so she put it in the car, and they went home to the prison. So when did Rick see that cat? Right? Did he see her putting it in a car, or did he see it when he passed her room at the prison? So if he has been watching Michonne, guys. Rick has had his eyes on Michonne all the time. See, Raspberry said the cat was Rick, alluding to him noticing Michonne's prison cell. Exactly. Rick, nothing misses him. He always notices, just like how even when they went to scavenge at the church, and he was watching when they were walking. Um, he's watching her reach for her sword, and she didn't have the sword after Terminus, and he was just watching her. And then when they scavenged at the food bank, he said to her, "Did you do you miss your sword?" He's always noticing Michonne. So I don't get people who think this man was not in love. He was in love for so long, and he was just waiting for the opportunity. She just didn't give him the go ahead. So he didn't think he had a chance. So the people think if Michonne had given Rick a chance, he wouldn't have taken it. They think Rick is Michonne is a rebound for Rick. They don't know Rick. They've not been attuned to Rick Grimes. Raspberry says sometimes Rosita's actress has strange delivery on her lines. The lines didn't make those words. The sequence of the words didn't make sense. I kept thinking that I miss her. I didn't hear. Like I kept missing the transition. So I thought, I don't care. If we fight, we win. But she didn't say if we fight. I kept thinking, I kept missing that. So I kept rewinding and said, why I'm not seeing, because the caption didn't say it, but I thought I missed hearing it and they just didn't caption it. But no, that's not what she said. I don't care. We win. That made no sense to me. So yep, Norris said this man is in love since day one. Rick, he is what do they say, the love language? He loves to give presents. He's always giving Michonne presents. Michonne is her love language too. Remember how she brought Rick and Carl presents when she came back to the prison, which tells you he was her always. He and Rick and Carl were her persons, you know. So Rick love language is gift giving and also touch. So remember, I kept saying to you, you're gonna see the way Rick is with Michonne. You're gonna see that he's not really into Jesse, because how he's with Michonne tells you there was a difference. So when he said to Carl, this is different, him being with Michonne after whatever with Jesse, he said to Carl, this is different. And I said, you're going to see that difference. I didn't like that was the only conversation that Rick had about him being with Michonne to Carl or even to Michonne. I hated that. And that's on the writers. But you will see the difference in other ways, because Rick's love language is gift giving, but it's also touch. And I showed you in one of the episodes when, and this is after he supposedly gotten with Jesse. This was after that tepid kiss in the dark garage. Jesse caressed Rick's face and then had her hands go down his chest. Do you know what Rick did? He just looked at her. That's not Rick. Rick love language is affection. He loves to kiss Michonne. He loves to touch Michonne. He loves to hold her hand. It's affection. Physical touch. What's his affection? It's physical touch. If Michonne touches Rick, he's grasping her. He's reciprocating. If she caresses him, he kisses her hand. If she caresses him, he caresses her back. She caresses, he grabs her hand. He's always reaching for her. Michonne cannot touch Rick and Rick not reciprocate. Jessie caressed Rick and Rick looked at her. He kept his body language. He kept himself to himself. You cannot think Rick was into Jessie and know Rick. If you think that, you don't know Rick. And if you know Rick, you know he wasn't that into Jessie. I told you. I said, you're going to see the difference. You're going to see when Rick gets with Michonne, it was like, boom, I'm not letting you go. And two, the reciprocation. And he was always reaching out to her. He didn't wait for her. He didn't hide from her. He was always looking for her, seeking her out, seeking her touch, seeking her, affirmation. No, they don't, Rashida. They don't think that. It's just a way to dismiss Rick and Michonne. So the episode ended. So the next episode we'll watch on Friday will be 7/12. We're skipping 11. Woo! Raspberry said Rick's love language is gift giving and physical touch. Yes. And acts of service. Acts of service. What he did for Michonne when he saw her starting to fray and he said, we'll go to Washington. And also in the barn, when Michonne said, we're going to check it out. And then we're going to Alexandria. And Rick did everything. Rick said, nope, 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 nope. And then Rick said, we're going. And the Michonne had to say, do you really mean it? Or are you just saying it? And he's like, well, I'm going to go. Acts of service. He will sacrifice what he wants for her. So thank you for that. Love language, gift giving, physical touch, and acts of service. You're right. Right, Nor. He didn't act like himself. Yes, Cam J. Only time. Raspberry says Michonne speaks life into Rick, and she also gives him the best gifts. RJ, the picture of Carl, the electric razor. Yes. Oh, yeah, forgot that part. Yes, you're right, Raspberry. Cam J, Raspberry has the answer. When he was in that mode, back into the prior life, taking the baby and, automatically acting like how he would with Lori, which should give us his state of mind. Yeah. But enough about her. I was just wanting to show you the difference in how he behaved with Michonne, the reciprocation, the passion. There was no passion there for Rick, but the passion with Michonne, the need for physical touch, to always the reciprocation, and you're gonna see that in 7/12 even more so. Guys, you know that I started another channel, right? The Walking Dead channel. I haven't posted. I don't think I'm going to continue it. I just have too much going on. So I think I'm going to take those videos and put them on this channel. And this channel, I told you I got the invite to be a YouTube partner, but I don't think they're going to approve me again because the views are not good enough. So I'm going to take the videos, I'm going to close that channel down and put the videos on here and see if they get views. If they get views on this channel, then I'll go ahead and apply for the partnership. I don't know what to do with this channel. I love, I'm keeping it because of us and we get to chat, but till we finish this, and but I want to do more reactions, not just The Walking Dead, but I like doing it this way because I don't have to edit. So I'll continue to do it this way, but I'm not getting the views, so I don't know if we'll get the partnership. But yeah, I think I'm going to close down that channel because it would require me making videos and editing. And with what I'm getting ready to do, getting ready to rewrite my rewrite my novel Wheeler, and then continue adapting the script for my romantic drama to a novel. I'm gonna have too much going on to worry about editing, doing videos and editing for that newer channel. I'm gonna take those videos and put it on this channel, close down that channel, and hopefully those videos get views so that I can apply for partnership. Because the reason why I want the partnership is because I want to use that money to fund the marketing for the books, and also, because I'm trying to make money to do the films. So I have to get serious about trying to now produce funding. So I have to consolidate my energy, not my productivity, and be more consistent. So I'm trying to be more consistent on this channel and trying to find a way how to get views. So I wanted to start reacting to other stuff now. See, since we found a nice groove with doing it live and I don't have to edit. And if I do it and it's too many, I can edit out. I know how to edit on the live to cut down the copyright of whatever we're reacting to. So I'm going to set up the TV and the DVD because I do have stuff on DVD that we can do. And so I'm trying to get this channel monetized so that I can start trying to, produce my stuff, produce my films. Yes, I loved it 712 Noir because it focused on Rick and Michonne. Any episode that focuses on Rick and Michonne will be up there for me. Yes, yes, Raspberry. He's content around Michonne. He's happy. Raspberry's talking about Daryl and Carol and Morgan and Daryl's conversation. You notice I talked all over that. I just wasn't interested. But yeah, so guys, I thank you. You guys really came through for me, and you subscribed to that channel, but too much was going on. I don't have enough time. I didn't have enough time then to devote. So I'm gonna try to save this channel and try to get it monetized. I don't know. They told me, and I saw another video on it, they told me that people are getting demonetized and people are not getting monetized because of the same thing they told me, for inauthentic and repetitious content. So I was like, inauthentic. It's me. I'm not borrowing it from anyone. I'm not getting it from AI. And repetitious. Every video is different because again, I'm not getting it from AI, and I'm not. It's me reacting. So I think it's just that I'm not and I deleted videos that had copyright on them. See, I reacted to the Michael Jackson trailer and they copyrighted me. So I don't know. Other people do reactions to trailers, and uh their channel is monetized and doesn't get demonetized. I don't know why I'm the exception. I don't know. And but I just think they're not going to monetize me because I don't get enough views on the videos. I keep getting subscribers though. Isn't that weird? People keep subscribing but they're not watching the videos. It's so strange. But so I'm going to bring those videos here and see what happens. And if they get some views, I'll apply. If they don't get any views, I don't know what else to do, guys. You guys have to help me out, tell me what to do. But anyway, I'm not going to keep you up. I want Noor to get some sleep. And you guys, I want you to get some rest and, enjoy your Sunday morning. And if you go to church, say a prayer for me, please. And I'll see you tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern, and God willing. And we'll have some fun. We'll talk about, I'll talk about, again, as I told you, what's going on with me with this, my hair, my skin, what I'm doing, what happened, how I got to fix my skin and what I'm dealing with. And then I'll talk more about my journey to filmmaking and whatever else you guys want to talk about. You can tell me what you would like to do and what you're hoping to do. And hopefully we can give you feedback and encouragement because we're going to be here for each other. So thank you, Rashida. Love you. Love you too, Noor. Have a good night. Sweet dreams. Thank you, Raspberry. I'm looking forward to it. See you there, guys. Sweet dreams, everyone. See you tomorrow. Bye.